Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your Tribal God of a Screen, Peter Joseph, here on a Wednesday night. And it's Wednesday night, you know what that means. We got AEW Dynamite coming up at the top of the hour. Should be a great show from El Paso, Texas. Scared them Cowboys that night. So, should be a great show. We'll talk about that later. But, thanks for watching on this Wednesday night, March the 4th, 2026, as we roll on with the first week of March. Pretty soon to be St. Patrick's Day in about 13 days. So for all you Irish people out there, you get to get drunk. Yay for you. And that's that. For everybody else, just another day. And that's that. But thank you for watching on this Wednesday night. Right here, once again, on the Peter Joseph YouTube Wrestling channel, youtube.com/Peter Joseph. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. Share the video all over the internet. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Leave a comment on this video or any one of my videos from the past, the present, and in the future, Conan. But don't leave stupid comments. You get sent to the Shadow Realm, beaten severely. Ozzy and Saint will come out and kick your ass and then eat your soul. Don't do it. Go do it on your day channel. And if you don't like it, tough shit, little man, little boy, little bitch. And that's that. And don't forget to tap and slap that bell to turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. If you miss anything, you're pretty much SOL. I think we all know what that means by now. If you don't know what it means, well, fuck you, man. That's it. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax. This time, you grab yourself a nice tasty Cold One Powerade Fruit Punch, because we finished off the soda. For now, got some left, but that'll probably be later tonight or tomorrow. But in any case, grab yourself a nice tasty cold one, put your stinky feet up and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You know, well, too bad. Don't watch it. Get out of here. Go do something else with your boring life. And that's it. We move on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on your Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, March the 4th, 2026, check out my last video, my NXT review from last night. So go back a video and watch that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, video number 2 on your now 2 for Wednesday. Hope you had a great day, and if not, well, too bad for you. Hope you have a better day tomorrow. And if you don't have a better day tomorrow, well, you need some help. And that's that. But on your Wednesday night, it is time for your really late, so far out of motherfucking date, AEW Dynamite and Collision reviews. Alright, so I'm going to review Dynamite and Collision from last week. And both shows are pretty damn good. We started with Dynamite, which went down in the ratings. And Collision, as we said, went down in the ratings. So both shows, even though they were pretty decent, went a little bit down. Well, Dynamite didn't go down that much, but Collision went down like 100,000 views. Ouch. So, we get that. Alright, so we're going to start with Dynamite from last week. And that's that. Alright, we're a couple weeks, pretty much as of this video, 11 days away from AEW Revolution, the first pay-per-view of the year. And we're just kind of finalizing the card almost. So we have that. Alright, so Dynamite emanated from the Mission Ballroom. Very small little dinky place. In Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. Where everybody goes to the Mile High Club. Not everybody, but, you know. I've never been to the Mile High Club because, you know. Never did it. Never did it, never wanted to do it, but maybe someday. But anyway, move on. Alright. Little different commentary team this week on Dynamite. Well, last week, I could say. We had the man behind the mask, Excalibur, Tony Baroni Schiavone, or Tony Schiavone for you people that love Jericho, and the man who just had a baby with his hot Asian wife. And that's the man from England, the greatest man in England, next to Ozzy, of course. And that's Nigel McGuinness, me love. And that's that. Congrats to Nigel and his hot Asian wife for the birth of their new baby, I believe a baby boy. So, Nitro getting the business done. That's pretty much it. Alright, we're on the road to Revolution, like I said. MJF picks the stipulation for his match with the Hangman, which could be anything he wants. But it didn't work out so well for you, Max. So, we'll get that. But we start off the show with the Babes of Wrath, the AEW Women's Tag Team Champions, Holly, Cameron, and the Resident Fun Girl, Widow Nightingale. Bam! They're going to be taking on Megan Bayne, the Megasis, and Penelope Ford, otherwise known as Mega Bad. They're all ready for the fight. And Lena Cross, who we haven't seen since Grand Slam Australia, she's there to help out with her besties, Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. Alright, so they're all ready to go. Then we're going to look back at FTR last week attacking the Young Bucks. Matt and Nick Jackson's family, they threw paddle in Papa Buck's face. Then they gave a spike pile driver to Brother Buck, the Young Bucks' brother. And now, coming out of all that, with the Gates of Agony, with the Demand, I should say, Ricochet and the Gates of Agony getting involved, Jack Perry coming out with jet speed. It's going to be a mile-high madness match, which means pretty much anything goes. It's going to be insane. So we get that. Speaking of insane, this guy comes out first in a non-title eliminator match. The Continental Breakfast of Champions champion, Jon Moxley. He takes on El Clone, or Hologram Dark. And it was actually a pretty damn good match. I'm not going to go through the logistics of it. But, almost with the time limit. But it ended in 16-16. Make a wish, ladies and gentlemen. But we get to the end. El Clone flipped over Mox in the corner. Immediately has to escape the Bulldog choke. Mox gets set outside again. It's time for one hell of a step up. Boot salt to the floor. Get back in. And El Clone dives right into the Guinea Casa! Bang! Which was impressive. Very good, very good. Not like mine, but I digress. But El Clone pops right up to drop Mox again. Top rope double stomp for a near fall. But Mox reversed the move into the Pale Rider, the Death Rider. Then the paradigm shift. 1, 2, 3. Mox gets the win, and El Clone, no title shot for you, ese, pero we get that. Match was pretty damn good, 3.25 out of 5 stars, and that's pretty much it. We'll see what happens with Mox as he takes on Takeshita, or Takeshita, in a no time limit match for the Continental title at Revolution. That's going to be a barn burner match. I'm gonna slap titties, if you know what I mean. We get that. Alright, then we're going to look at Swerve turning heel last week against Kenny. Beat the crap out of him. And then Prince Nana comes in out of the blue. Because he's Prince Nana, my good buddy. Buy his coffee, please. Really need to buy his coffee. It tastes amazing. And Prince Nana's one hell of a guy. Because we need Prince Nana to get indie money. He needs to be at indie money. Do. Gonna have some shrimp cocktail and some, good stuff, if you know what I mean. Hanging out with Prince Nana is always a good time. When we move on. Rosa hung out with him once. With me and Rosa hung out with him at a diner once. We were eating, and next thing we know, we see him. We're just chilling, just hanging out, talking about random stuff. Anyway. So, Nana comes in and says that Swerve doesn't give a fuck about the $100,000 fine. Damn. Last week. Introduces Swerve, stands at the announcer's table. He just, shoved Tony Schiavone out of the way. He's like, get out of here, Tony, you asshole. Hey, be easy with my boy, Tony Schiavone, okay? Calm down. So Swerve knows that some people don't like what he did last week, but he had to prove how dangerous. Let's get dangerous like Darkwing Duck. He was. Made a killing, taking out the Elite over the last year. The Bucks no longer EVPs, stuff like that. That takes him back to All In, where he talked to Hangman. Does he feel bad about what he's done? Back then, yes, but now he realizes he needs to go back to being that crazy lunatic again to get back on top and get back to AEW World Title. So, hey, anyway, you gotta get to the title, whether you turn face, turn heel, you're gonna get there eventually. But we'll see what happens with that, and I gave that 3 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we get the big man, Brody Hoot King, all ready to take out Mark Davis on his path back to the world title. And his good buddy and former tag team partner, one half of Brodito, the tag team champions of AEW at one point. And that's Bandido Ese Pero, still your reigning defending Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. When is he going to lose it? I have no idea. I don't even know when the next Ring of Honor show is. I think it's Supercard coming up sometime next month. Who knows? We move on with that. Alright, so I get that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we get to Orange Cassidy, the gimmick stealer. Bastard. Takes on the Maniac from New Japan. One half of the Bullet Club. War Dogs, too sweet for the love of God. And that's Gabriel Kidd, along with Clark Connors at ringside. Match was wild. I was waiting for Darby to come out. But he came out later. Gabe Kidd hits highs behind the ref at one point, avoided Orange Punch, which allowed him to rake Orange Cassidy's eyes. Then he hits a jumping power driver, almost like a Just Incredible type power driver. 1, 2, 3, he beats Orange Cassidy. Ha ha! Bitch. That's what happens when you steal my woman. When you try to steal my woman. I have to call Gabriel Kidd and come kick your ass. Idiots. Anyway, match was pretty good too. 3.25 out of 5 stars. And then after the match, Clark Connors comes in. 2-on-1 beatdown. And then, hi guys, it's me, Darby. Haha, I just want you to know I gotta save my best friend, Orange Cassidy, from a beatdown. And now we're gonna have a tag team match tonight on Dynamite. I want you all to watch. It's gonna be insane, guys. Ha ha. I weigh 150 pounds. I live in a car in Seattle. So fucking emo, guys. Fuck you. Get out of here. Alright. So he uses skateboard to take out Clark Connors and Gabriel Kidd. So that feud continues on. We got a tag team match tonight. We'll see what happens with that. And we move on. Alright, then we hear from the woman who's getting a women's title shot tonight. That's Thunder Rosa! Yay! She gets a title shot against Declaw, the crazy spider lady. That's coming up tonight. But on Collision, her and Chris Cakelander are going to be in action. I think tag team action. I think they fought the Sisters of Sin, my girl Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Basically tells them to be careful. And then I think it was Renee or what's her name? The other chick. Not Alicia Achut. Lexi Nair asks Cakelander, why you care so much? Cakelander had nothing to say. I think Cakelander's turning heel again. We'll see. That's with that. We move on. Alright, then we get to not so great match. Under 3 minutes. Did I say under 3 minutes? We get Kevin Knight of Jet Speed taking on Monsieur of MXM. No Mace Madden or Johnny TV or Taya Valkyrie. Johnny TV is bald now. He lost a hair versus hair match, I think, in New Japan. Or he lost at some indie promotion. He is bald now. So now you can call him Johnny Baldo. Oh, well. Anyway. Alright, this match wasn't anything to write home about. Kevin Knight won with the UFO splash in under 3 minutes. Big goddamn whoop. And that's that. After the match, Kevin Knight says, I know Hangman will win the world title, and I'd like to get a shot. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. They are the Trios Tag Team Champions for now. We'll see what happens with that. Let me move on. Alright, then it's time for the face-to-face between Hangman and Page, about to do some cowboy shit. Maxwell Jacob Bartknocker comes out. Tony Baloney in the ring for the Revolution World Title match stipulation. Hangman already wants Texas death and says, if I don't win, I will never get a title shot as long as I live. So MJF tells the fans to shut up, basically. Recaps what Page's stipulation, not being able to challenge for the title again if he loses, and refs is doing the same thing to Cody Rhodes. Oh, we get a Cody reference. Oh, boy. Uh-oh. Hunter might have to say something about that. So then he threw his gum into the crowd in the trash. He suggests a coin toss to decide the stipulation. So, if Adam Page wins, it's a Texas death match. But if MJF wins, it's a one-way no disqualification match, which means MJF can do whatever the fuck he wants, and he can do whatever he wants, but Page can be disqualified. So he can't get disqualified, but Page uses a weapon, he gets disqualified. So Adam Page's like, okay, you're on. And they talk about the variety of things that he could do in the Texas death match. And then he's like, if I can't beat a piece of shit like, MJF says, if I can't beat a piece of shit like you, I don't deserve to be the champ. So he flips the coin, he wins, and then he's like, well, I'll see you at Revolution. We're gonna get a one-way DQ match. So, meaning what I just said, Max can do whatever the fuck he wants, and if Page uses a weapon, he gets disqualified. So Max thinks everything is cool, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen this before. I smell a Harvey Dent two-face double-sided coin, and guess what we get? Page wants to see the coin, and then Jet Speed, Brody King, and Bandito come out, and of course, it's a two-sided coin. And then, therefore, according to Tony Catman, it's going to be a Texas death match, which it should have been from the beginning. But we had to go through circles. Go through hoops to get there. Alright, it's going to be bloody. It's going to be carnage, chaos, violence. We love violence. We don't condone it, but we love it. So that's pretty much it. So, Texas death match. Maxwell Jacob Bartknocker defending against the Hangman. If Hangman loses, he can never get the title as long as he lives. So, a Cody Rhodes type thing from 3 years ago. Not even 3, maybe 4, I think 4 years ago. 4 years ago. Where we get that. I think MJF's going to win, and Hangman, you get nothing. And if you win, well, if he does have a point, though. If Page can't go for the title, but if he enters the Owen Hart Cup, wins it like he won it last year, he gets a title shot. So kind of the stipulation doesn't make sense then. If he's in the Owen Hart Cup and wins it, then he gets an actual another title shot. But then, but I don't know if that is null and void if that happens. So, hey, a what if? I should write that down. Maybe I'll write it down. We'll see. Alright, moving on. Alright, then we're going to look back at the Brawling Birds. That's Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor! Their debut on Collision last week against two Hammond-Eggers. We move on. Alright, then we hear from them. They're happy with their win. They don't give a fuck who they fight. Well, tonight, they face the Inspiration or the Iconics. Peyton Royce and Billy Kay in their AEW debut. Love to see that. Can't wait. That'll be exciting. So we move on with that. Alright, so those two teams are going to be heavily, they were watching the World Tag Team titles for the women. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, Mega Bad, with Lena Cross at ringside, taking on the Babes of Wrath, Harley, Cameron, and Willow Nightingale. It was a pretty good match. But we're getting near the end. We come back from break. Penelope is nowhere to be seen because she did a flippy dippity doo, landed on her ankle, which we thought was really bad. But thankfully for Penelope, she's not going to be out too long. She probably just sprained her ankle. She's fine. So she'll be back in action in a couple weeks or so. She's so injury prone. It's just insane. I guess it's the Joey Janela curse. Ooh. Ooh. Thank you, James Hetfield. Thank you. Bingo! Ooh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Ooh! Okay, calm down. Calm down, James. Bingo was her name! Oh! Ooh, yeah! Ooh! Okay. Calm down. Lars! Hey, James, you want to play some Isley Brothers tunes? Gonna come out your nose? What do you think about that? Yeah! Okay, good. Moving on. Anyway. Alright, so we come back from break. Harley's on the floor getting tended to by the medic. Harley fights out of trouble, hands it right off to Willow Nightingale. Some corner clotheslines have Mega Bane down on the floor. Running flippy dippity doo off the apron connects. Willow goes for Bane with the powerbomb. It gets blocked, but then Lena Cross comes in, hits Willow with the belt, and we get a disqualification. Our rare disqualification in AEW, so we get that. And the Basic Rats retain by DQ. So we get that. After the match, 3-on-2 beatdown. And then Megan and Lena posing with the belts. I think we're going to see that pretty much. Maybe at Revolution. We'll see. We got that. Moving on. Alright, then we get to big beefy men slapping meat. Brody, Hoot King, and Mark Davis from the Don Callis family. Don Callis on commentary. We get a fuck Don Callis, fuck Ice too chant. We're still talking about Ice. We're not even hearing about Ice on TV anymore. We're talking about Iran. The so-called war in Iran. Iran's getting the fuck beat out of them. Those goddamn towelheads. Fuck them. Drop that fucking nuke on them and obliterate them. That's what I say, but I digress. Anyway, moving on. Alright, Brody hits a Death Valley driver, gets sent crashing to the floor as we go to break. Ow. Come back, Brody wins, exchange of forearms, sending Mark Davis back to the outside. Suicide flippy dippity doo connects. Running cross body drives Mark Davis into the barricade. Ow. Back in. Brody with the cannonball. That connects. But Mark Davis slips over his back into a chin lock, 1905 chin lock. That gets broken up quickly. They trade suplexes. And then Davis with a clothesline for a double down to get back up. Brody hits not one, but two clotheslines from hell. And he gets the win with that, surprisingly. 1, 2, 3. So he gets the win. And that's that. Match was pretty decent when we move on. Alright, after the match, Bandito comes out to check on his good buddy. Brody says, I want to fight Swerve at Revolution because I'm the most dangerous man in AEW. And then Bandito's like, hey, S.A. Pedro, I want to fight there too. So then Andrade El Idolo comes out, and we got that match signed for Revolution. Non-title. Why isn't not for the Ring of Honor title? Tony Khan? I guess they're saving Bandito's loss at Supercard then. Obviously. I hope Andrade wins, then he gets the title shot. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. We move on. Alright, we go to the back. The Proto Star! Kyle Fletcher with his TNT title, now dubbed as Pinky. Pinky. And Okada comes in with Brain, right? His title is called Brain. The Pinky and the Brain. The Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. The Pinky and the Brain, 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 Nerf! Hey, Brain! What are we gonna do tonight, Brain? Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Nerf! You know, imagine Pinky, not Pinky, so, yeah. Imagine Pinky and Snarf from Thundercats. That would be hilarious. Them just talking to themselves. Snarf! Snarf! Narf! Snarf! Narf! Snarf! Narf! Snarf! And then you have Orko in the background. And then he was like, what the fuck going on, man? And then Skeletor's like, what the fuck, evil people? Until him we meet again! That would be hilarious. That would be funny. Anyway, moving on. Alright, so Okada comes in and said they're both champions, unlike Takeshita. And Okada wants to team up on Collision, so we do get Proto-Okada! So we got that. That's going to be epic. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But Proto-Okada, you gotta love it. We move on. Alright, it is time for the Mile High Showdown, the Mile High Street Fight, whatever you want to call it, between Jungle Jack Perry, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nicholas Jackson, and the Rascals, and that is Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz, or MXM, or MMX, whatever they're called. They take on the man, the the national champion, Ricochet, and the Gates of Agony Bishop Quan! I know not Quan! And Toa Leona. They team up with FTR, the AEW Tag Team Champions. Cash's got a clock! Wheeler and Daxiax Harwood with Stokely Hathaway at ringside. This was wild. They went all over the place. And at one point, Jack Perry pulls out a vacuum cleaner. Bam! Right over the head of, I think it was Toa Leona. Smoke is like dirt and dust and everywhere. It was insane. That was crazy. He cleaned house. FTR catches his flip die, drops him on the announcer table. That's, Myron Reed. It was Myron Reed and I think Desmond, not exactly Wentz, sorry. Like I said, Perry comes in with a vacuum and cleaned house, if you will. But we get near the end. A double powerplex into a springboard for 50 gets a near fall. Good guys made the save. FTR and the Bucks trade DDTs until the Rascals give Ricochet a double Spanish fly through another table at ringside. And then some super kick party! And a sunset flip bomb put Toa Leona through another table. And with so many tables, it was insane. And then FTR got tossed to another table. They're out. And then the Bucks hit the BTE trigger. If you didn't watch BTE, you didn't see that, but anyway. BTE trigger, assisted running knee from Jack Perry, or the Psycho knee, finishes off Ricochet at exactly 19 minutes. Match was insane. And that's it. And that ends the show. So Dynamite wasn't that bad. I gave it 7.25 out of 10 stars. And that's pretty much it. Alright, now we go to Collision, which wasn't that bad. It was pretty decent. It is what it is. And this time, same place, Mission Ballroom in Denver, Colorado. Tony Baloney Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness Love back on commentary. As we're getting closer to Revolution. Now 11 days away, as of this recording. Alright, so we start the show off with a pissed off Maxwell Jacob Fartknocker. And he's like, I'm holding the show hostage until Revolution is fixed. So he wants Tony Gottman to come out right now because the Texas Death Match is not gonna happen. Well, Tony Khan doesn't come out, but this guy comes out. Kevin Knight says that he sees MJ trying to hide while I've been out here getting the job done. I'm 1/3 of the Trios champs, bitch. So Kevin says, I have better fashion and swag than you do, Max. But I'm also the future and the here and now. Max ain't having that. He's not impressed. But gives Kevin a world title shot on Dynamite. That's going to open the show. And promises to make Kevin history. Well, that works to get a title shot, I guess. You didn't earn it, but you get it anyway. I hate that shit. That you don't earn your title shots. But we got that. We move on. Alright, after that, we get the funky chicken himself, Mark Briscoe. And as always, we haven't talked to you in a while, sir. As always, with Mark, we pay homage to his good brother, the man upstairs, Jay Briscoe. Reach for the sky, boy. Alright. Mark wants to face the Psycho Killer. Tommaso Ciampa again. But Ciampa is facing Black Machismo. Ooh, yeah. Jay Lethal, who beat Ciampa for the Ring of Honor TV title long time ago. I remember that show. I don't think it was in... Was that in... No, it wasn't in New York. I don't think it was in New York. I gotta check the dates on that. But we move on with that. Alright, so we get that. Alright, then we got an 8-man tag team match with the Death Riders. So we had the Bastard Pac, the Dancing Fool, Danny Garcia, Claudio, and the bald-headed idiot, William Yuta, John Moxley on commentary, against the Don Callis family, Lucky Romero S.A., Josh Alexander, Trent Beretta, and I think... And Lance Archer. Everybody dies. Match wasn't anything to write home about. Getting to the end, William Yuta comes in, gets dropped by some jumping knees. Lance Archer gives him a choke slam. Yuta has to fix his hat because he's bald. When Shafir comes in to choke Lance Archer pretty much out. She tried. That got broken up in a hurry. The Death Riders come back in to strike away at Lance Archer, including a string of shots in the corner. Fastball Special gets a near fall, as Don Callis family had to make the save. Then they brawl back to the floor, and then William Yuta hits the Busaiku knee. 1, 2, 3 on Rocky Romero, who always takes the pin. So the Death Riders once again pick up a win over the Don Callis family. Decent match, and that's that. After the match, Mox gets in the ring to celebrate, but the Ketchler comes out, and then they brawl. And that's pretty much it. Alright, then we get the Psycho Killer, Tommaso Ciampa taking on Black Machismo, Jay Lethal, a Ring of Honor classic. Lethal came out with the Swirl, Blake Christian, and Lee Johnson. Pretty good match for under 9.5 minutes. Getting to the end, and Ciampa catches Lethal on top with a chop, but Lethal knocks him right back down. Goes to the woo nature boy figure 4, gets counted to a small package for a near fall. Lethal combination puts Ciampa back down, and then Lethal goes for ooh yeah, hail to the king, yeah, like Tabakshu man, ooh yeah, get. Did you like that, Randy? I thought it was pretty nice. Okay, thank you. Ooh yeah, not as good as me. Okay, we know. Snap to him. Okay, snap into it. Thank you. Alright, that gets counted into a crucifix pin for a near fall. And then Jay Lethal grabs a Giddy Kassa! Bang! Tries for a lethal injection. That gets cut off with a basement drop kick. And then Ciampa kicks away, pulls down his knee pad, hits the running knee. 1, 2, 3. Tommaso Ciampa gets the win over Jay Lethal. I guess getting his win back from Ring of Honor. And, that's pretty much it for that. And that's it. Alright, moving on. Alright, then we get a video for the installation! The Iconics! Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. They want to fight JB Hayter and Alex Windsor! We're going to get that tonight on Dynamite. It should be pretty damn good in the Iconics AEW debut. We move on with that. Alright, then we get a video on Clark Connors for some odd reason. I guess Steckler paid for that. In more ways than one. Moving on with that. Alright, then we get the Brawling Birds, Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor. They take on Gypsy Mac and Tyra Rusami. Or Usami. I don't know. 3 minutes suckfest. I say 3 minutes suckfest, yeah. They do the heart attack. 2 birds with 1 stone is now the name of the move that they hit it. Basically, it's a heart attack, but they call it 2 birds with 1 stone. Clever. 1, 2, 3 to get a pin on Tyra Rusemi in 3 minutes. That's pretty much it. They're getting ready to face the Inspiration tonight. We'll see what happens with that. Moving on. Alright, we got a video on a 4-way tag team match next week. I don't know the teams, but it's going to be for $200,000 of Tony Khan's money. So Tony Khan's throwing that money out again. He don't need the money for his cocaine. He's got a whole stash coming in now from Iran. I don't know where it's coming from. Snort that cocaine, Tony. Please watch my show next week. I'm giving away $200,000. And please watch Dynamite tonight. I will never blink. I'm going to drink my Perrier. That's what he does. Doesn't blink. The guy never blinks. If I ever met that guy, I'm like, do you ever blink? Can I have a job? No. I'm kidding. He does owe me a job. I'm just saying. Alright, so we got that. $200,000 on the line this Saturday night. Between, I have no idea. 4-way tag team match. So, we got that. Alright, then we got Bruno Okada! That's Fletcher and Okada. They take on Top Flight, Darius and Dante Martin, with Christopher Daniels at ringside. Don Callis again on commentary. Pretty decent match for what it was worth. Getting the end, and Dante fights his way out of trouble. Okada is in to cut off the tag, but the tag goes through about 5 seconds later. Darius comes in, cleans house. Fletcher misses a charge in the corner. Darius comes back in, kicks him into a German suplex. Nice. And then Darius and Kyle strike it out until Okada comes in for that patented drop kick of his. Pull back! Then he hits the Rainmaker on Darius, and then Fletcher as the Brain Buster. 1, 2, 3, Pro Okada get the win in their first match together. You gotta love it. I think they could be tag team champions, but we move on with that. Alright, after the match, Fletcher declares himself and Okada as the best champions in AEW history. That's debatable. And a challenge is issued to, well, this tag team, Jet Speed, who beat them in singles matches in the Continental Classic. So they tease a tag team match, along with Okada getting a world title shot once Kevin Knight wins the thing, beats MJF, and a trios title match. So, all good in the hood for Pro Okada. And yes, there are too many titles in AEW. Yes. Too many titles in wrestling, period. It's insane. Can't keep up with all of them. But I digress. We move on. Alright. Then we find out that, Clark Connors and Gabriel Kidd will face... Hi guys, it's me again, Darby. I'm gonna team up with my good friend Orange Cassidy on Dynamite. You guys gonna watch me? I'm gonna kill myself for you guys because me and Orange Cassidy don't give a fuck. Ha ha! Guys, we're so emo. Fuck. Okay. We got that, so... meaningless garbage tag team match coming up tonight. Don't care. Alright, then it's off to the ladies. I think it's time for the death slot. We got Timeless Tony Storm, darling. Bosom. Tony Storm with Luther at ringside takes on my girl Zeta Steele. And, well, Zeta did all she could, but didn't last that long. 3.5 minutes. Did I say 3.5 minutes? Well, Tony beats her with Storm Zero. Zeta did a few things, not too many. But, she hit a codebreaker, sends Tony Storm to the outside for a flippy-dippity-doo and a high-cross body for a near fall. And then, not one, not two, but 3 straight German suplexes knock Zeta for a loop. Then she hits a sexy hip attack in the corner. Then to Storm Zero, good night, Zeta. That's it. But she's getting there. She's getting there. Just gotta give it some time. That's that. But Tony gets the win. And that's it. That's that. And then after the match, Marina Shafir comes in. They have another fight. Can't fight! And then William Yuta, that bald idiot, joins in. Well, Tony fights back. Takes William Yuta's hat off. Revealing his bald head. Though, his hair is starting to come back really quick. He's like a fucking chia pet. Chia. So they finally took the thing off, but we saw his bald head in an indie show, if you were there. Well, if you are an ex, you saw that picture. But now we saw his bald head. Put it back on! Put it back on! Put that hat back on, it's disgusting. Oy, oy, oy. Moving on. Alright, so we get that. Alright, then we send for the man! We haven't talked to you in a while. Get in here with your Doritos. Hook, ladies and gentlemen, he's back. He's recruiting for the Ops. Anthony Bowens offers his services. Really? But that's a maybe, because Bowens might not be enough of a killer. And then Hook, that's pretty much it. So, Anthony Bowens in the Ops? I don't know if that's the best idea. I thought they were going to reform the Acclaim. They kind of were teasing it a little bit. No, I guess we're not going to scissor anymore, Mommy? I guess not. I guess not. We'll see what happens with that situation. Alright, there we get the Sisters of Sin. My girl Julia Hart and Sky Blue. They take on Chris Cakelander and Thunder Rosa! Yay! No, not my Rosa. Thunder Rosa. That would be her. Well, never mind. Anyway. Pretty good match. Getting to the end. Thunder Rosa dives to make the save after a super kick on Statlander. Then they slug it out from their knees, but the super swinging rock bottom gets broken up. And then Cakelander hits Saturday Night Fever on Julia Hart. And then Thunder Rosa's package powerbomb. Somebody's been watching Kevin Steen tapes. Gets the win, 1, 2, 3. So, Cakelander and Thunder Rosa get the win. That's that. Pretty decent match. And then, after the match, the AEW Women's Champion, Thekla, is here. Let me just change to Dynamite. Wait, I do have Dynamite tape. Oh, yeah, I do. I'm just making sure. Sometimes my DVR is like, oh, we're not going to tape tonight. What? Anyway, we're DVRing it tonight. Anyway. Alright, so Thekla comes out and says, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's not one, but 2 bitches. Damn. So she's all ready to beat Thunder Rosa on Wednesday night, who she tells to just retire already. Better. And then, and it says, give it up for the past of the women's division because it belongs to her now. Yeah. She's getting good at promos. You rarely heard her in Japan doing promos. Rarely. But, man, she is cutting some mean, vicious promos. And I love it. I love it. I want more of it. And we got that. So we'll see what happens with Thekla and the hometown girl, Thunder Rosa, in El Paso, Texas. I don't think we're going to title change, but we'll see. Alright, then we got former New Japan Strong Openweight Champion, Tomohiro Ishii, not Ishii, is Ishii, takes on Andrade El Idolo with Don Callis, once again at commentary. Pretty good match. Andrade sends Ishii into the announcer's table, stops to take a photo with Becca. That was the chick on that he took a picture with on Collision. That's her name is Becca. We've seen her in Ring of Honor, various indie girl stuff like that. Alright, so Ishii fights back. Don Callis is like going nuts. Then he got back on commentary real quick. And then Andrade hits the Eddie Guerrero, 3 Amigos for a near fall. Did you like that one, Eddie? It was nice. I don't have nothing bad to say about Andrade, but I do it better anyway. Better. He needs to stop doing it, though. Okay, I'll tell him to stop. But he would just tell you to, Eddie, tranquilo, I say, take it easy. Hey, since when do you talk Spanish, I say? I know some Spanish from the Mamacita. On the side, I forgot. You having fun? She's pissing me off a little bit. You take care of her. Don't let her go, I say, pero. Okay, I'll grab some, and then I'll loosen her up a little bit. You know what I mean? You're a funny guy, I say, pero. I know. Alright, Dynamite on tonight. Moxley versus Hikaru in a AEW Continental title eliminator match. Now we're getting some highlights from Collision. I don't know why we went to that. And then we're going to hear from the Hangman. He's going to be in action tonight. So is Max. Max is facing Kevin Knight for the AEW World Title. I don't know who Hangman's going to fight. But we're going to start off with MJF and Kevin Knight for the AEW title. Okay, bad production because we went to Collision. Actually, it was last week's coin toss, which backfired on MJF, and now Tony Khan said we're going to do Texas Death at Revolution for the AEW World Title. And then we get a little thing on Collision with Kevin Knight challenging MJF for the title, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so we get that. Alright, so, anyway. Let's get back to last week. Alright, so Andrade hits the three amigos for a near fall. Misses the running shotgun knees in the corner. Ow. Ishii's German suplex gets shrugged off, so he headbutts Andrade down anyway. A missed charge sends Ishii face first into the turnbuckle. Ow. And then the running shotgun knees knock him for a loop, but Andrade only got a near fall to that. The double moonsault gets a near fall. Goes for the DM, the message, it gets blocked. But Andrade's spinning back elbow, that quick spinning back elbow, almost knocked Ishii out. But somehow Ishii kicked out of that too. Then he hits the message. 1, 2, 3, big win for Andrade. Pins Ishii, a former champion in New Japan. And that's pretty much it. And we move on with that. Alright, so Andrade gets the win. And then after the match, Bandito SA comes out for a stare down, and we get the match, non-title match at Revolution. For now, with the Ring of Honor World Title is not on the line, which will be apropos because Tony Khan doesn't believe in having the Ring of Honor titles defended lately, right? That's why everybody is like 35-year champions. I mean, the thing is on year 5 almost. I mean, 4, really. He's never going to lose that fucking belt because nobody left. I think the only one to beat her is Deonna Purrazzo at this point. They finally end the Billy Starkz Athena story. And Billy Starkz finishes her story, Jordan! She finishes her story! Well, I can't say that anymore because that guy retired. It's sad for him. But I feel bad for the guy. His channel got unceremoniously terminated because some douchebag hacked into his channel and it got taken down because of porno. But idiot that guy is. Not the guy that took it down, I'm saying. But it is what it is. I wish Jordan and Brandon well on Facebook or whatever they're gonna be. But I digress on that. Anyway, moving on with that. Alright, so Bandito versus Andrade at Revolution, whether that's for the Ring of Honor World Title or not, it's going to be a good match, and that's it. Alright, that ends Collision, and Collision wasn't that bad. I gave it 6.5 out of 10 stars. Dynamite, 7.25 out of 10 stars, and that's pretty much it. Alright guys, Dynamite's about to start with the AEW World Title on the line. Maxwell Jacob Fartknocker defending against Kevin Knight of Jet Speed, 1/3 of the Trios Champions. Should be a pretty good match. I think Max is going to retain. They wouldn't have Kevin Knight of all people become the new champ. Like 11 days before the pay-per-view. That ain't happening. So Max is probably going to win this match easily. And that's pretty much it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I will be back maybe a little bit later with your official this week's review, since I was a little bit late doing the reviews for Dynamite and Collision last week. I will be here later on tonight with your official review of the show a little bit later tonight, right here on the channel. So 3 videos for the price of 1 right here on the channel. So a Triple Threat Wednesday on the channel for that ice. And that's it. Then tomorrow we'll probably talk about TNA and Ring of Honor. A little bit late Thursday night. Friday, late Friday night, maybe early Saturday, we'll talk about SmackDown. And then we'll do the predictions for NXT Vengeance Day on episode 106. Episode 106 of the Shadows Lair, TSL 106. And then maybe late Saturday night or early Sunday, we'll do the review for Vengeance Day. And then pretty much we'll hopefully be back on a normal schedule. But, you know, I'm very busy, so sometimes the reviews might come a day or 2 or 3 later. Or maybe a week later, you never know. But I'm very busy, you know. Busy. Making the money you wish you had. And that's pretty much it. Alright, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'll see you guys later for video number 3. But until then, peace.